So I am actually really excited that Kafka is going to be coming out in Honkai Star Rail in about a week and a half. So today I want to talk about how Kafka's introduction to Star Rail is really going to change the game for so many players. And before I get into all of it, if you enjoy Star Rail content, want to see more from me, definitely be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell. So, the reason and main reason that Kafka is going to change Honkai Star Rail, and I think she's going to be just one of those very unique characters when it comes to how the game is right now and how characters have been over the past couple of versions, is that unlike most other damage dealers that were focusing on just, your normal type of damage, Kafka is going to have a strong focus on DOT, which is damage over time. And previously, before Kafka's release, along with Luka, who's also going to be helpful for her, the only character that really had a focus on DOT that was in the game was Sampo. But the reason that many people didn't really see as much usefulness from Sampo was because he didn't have any partners to really bring out the best in him. Because I've been using him a bit during the latter half of 1.1 and then the starting half of 1.2, and he definitely does some decent DOT, but I feel like it's going to be absolutely nothing compared to what he's going to do alongside Kafka. And this sort of playstyle, relying more so on DOT than just, your normal damage, is going to be very interesting. And it's just going to be a new playstyle for players to try, see how they like it and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's going to be beneficial. I'm summoning for Kafka, so I'm definitely going to be, testing things out. Once I get her, I'll be testing out a bunch of teams that I have in mind, because I do plan to build Kafka. I plan to build Luka. So, and I already have my Sampo built, so I'll be able to test a bunch of different team comps with Kafka. But the reason that Kafka is so, it's going to change up Honkai Star Rail so much is because, unlike Sampo, because Sampo, he has some DOT amplification, but he mainly just does wind shear and increases the damage of DOTs on enemies. Kafka has multiple parts of her kit that are going to amplify the amount of DOT you do, which is super huge. So I'm going to go into those right now. So firstly, Kafka's skill, not only does her skill, inflict damage to the enemy, but it also will inflict a smaller percentage of the damage of all DOTs that are on the enemy. So let's say, for example, you're running Kafka, Sampo, and Luka. So that would mean the enemy would likely be shocked, have wind shear, and have bleed on them. So hitting them with Kafka's skill is going to proc a smaller burst of damage from all three of those effects. So as they get hit by the skill, which will deal lightning damage, they'll also be hit by a smaller percentage of the shock damage, the wind shear damage, and the bleed damage all in one go with the skill, which is going to be some pretty strong damage, especially if you have your Sampo, Luka, and Kafka built up to where their DOT damages are just good. Plus pairing that with Sampo's ultimate, which adds extra vulnerability for DOTs. Then next we have Kafka's ultimate, which will inflict a larger percentage of damage for just the shock DOT on the enemy that it hits, which is very nice because she's just going to be able to get more damage off her shocks, and also her ultimate can shock enemies as well, and she also has a couple other ways to apply shock, so getting extra damage off of her is going to be very good as well. And then lastly, her talent's follow-up attack, which you can only do once per turn. It can increase all DOT damage on the enemy that the follow-up hits for 2 turns, which is even better because if you're focusing on, applying bleed, applying wind shear, applying shock, whatever DOTs you're using, that follow-up attack is going to be your best friend because it's just really going to make things a lot easier. And also the way you get the basic attack isn't even that hard either. Not the basic attack, the talent, because all you have to do is, with any of your allies, just hit a basic attack on an enemy, and Kafka will do the follow-up attack. Now, as I said, it only is once a turn, but that's still going to be really good, because especially for the bigger boss fights, because a lot of times you're only going to be fighting the boss, so you can get a bunch of DOTs on the boss, then Yeah, honestly, you can get all your DOTs up, then your healer can basic attack, and then that'll trigger the follow-up, and they'll take a lot of damage from DOTs. So yeah, I think Kafka is going to be absolutely huge for Honkai Star Rail, because it's just going to add more variety in the way that we're able to play, because while, units are, different from each other, they have different, things, like how Blade is about sacrificing HP, then you have Sela, who has the, extra attacks and everything. Kafka is having a whole new playstyle, which is pretty different from every other damage dealer we've had so far. Well, let me know in the comments down below what you think of Kafka's DOT playstyle and what you think of Kafka in general. I'm super excited for her to come out. I can't wait to pull for her. But if you enjoyed the video, definitely be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will see you all next time.